Hi, my name is Carissa, and I have some things I'd like to share with you, and hopefully you'll find some encouragement. And this is something that I'm learning as I go, so I'm not there, but I feel like the Lord just wants you to be encouraged. Um, this is about finding rest. So, when you find yourself in a place in life where you just feel worn out and discouraged, and you've done all you know to do, and you're exhausted, and you feel like there's no end, be encouraged, because all it takes is some simple shift in thinking, and things can be different. It's not your fault. Life happens. I've been going through some things too. I had some recent surgery and had some time where I absolutely could not be in control. I had to just give everything to God. I had to let Him do what He was going to do. And I could have sat and worried about the bills. I could have worried about, and I did for a minute. I started to. And then the funniest thing happened. I realized I didn't have control. And when I gave up control, I got peace. So this is what He's teaching me. The reason we can't find peace in every part of our lives, in every area, that doesn't mean that things aren't happening, doesn't mean that life isn't hard, doesn't mean that everything is perfect, but the reason that we can't have peace in spite of all of that is because we are trying to be in control. And He doesn't want us to be in control. In His word in Matthew 11:28-30, it talks about His yoke being easy and His burden is light. So, what does that mean? That means that the yoke that He puts on us, and a yoke is what they would put on like the oxen or the cattle, when they were pulling the plow. They would put this big heavy piece of equipment on them so that they could pull the equipment. It was tough and it was strong, and it would withstand the pressure. But He says that His yoke is easy and His burden, so what He would carry, your burden is what you carry, His burden is light. So when we give Him control, then we are lightened. Our yoke, the yoke He puts on us, is easy because He carries it. He never intended for you to fix everything, to be everything to everybody. He never intended for you to save everyone, because He's already done that. You cannot do it. And the reason you can't find peace in certain areas of your life, say you are super happy in your church life, and that is perfect, that's wonderful, but your relationships are horrible, they're awful. Now I understand, sometimes we get into the wrong situations, okay? That's because He's not in control. Every area, He wants every area of our lives, because He wants our burden to be light, because it's His burden. See, He takes the heaviness and leaves us with simply what He wants us to do. And He doesn't ask, that we carry the world. He doesn't ask that we fix everybody. That's something that He does. Now we are His tools. We can help Him. We're His hands. We're His body. But we do that together. So for starters, I want to just encourage you to stop compartmentalizing your life. Stop having work life and then home life and then church life and thinking that only certain parts of your life can be spiritual. We're spiritual beings. We're created in the image of God, and our whole life is spiritual. That doesn't mean religious, okay? Please don't get me wrong, because to me, spiritual is just that. It has to do with the spirit. Religion is another thing, and you can be religious about eating tacos. If you eat tacos at 7 o'clock every Tuesday, then you're religious about eating tacos because it's doing something repeatedly on a regular basis. It's religious. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking to you about spiritual. We are spiritual beings. So God created us in a certain way. He gave us each one special gifts. He blessed us with things that we are to bring to this world. So don't separate him from certain parts of your life because you think he doesn't belong there. He created you for everything that you are and everything that you do. When a bird praises the Lord, he praises the Lord by singing and flying because that's what birds do. The bird blesses the Lord by being a bird. So whatever he created you to do, you will bless him by doing it. You don't have to take control of every area. You don't have to say, well, I have to take care of this part because this isn't God's job. You're God's. So everything is his. And as you begin to give it up, as you begin to remind yourself, I don't care if something comes to you to worry about it 20 times in a day. If you stop and say, you know what, I'm not going to do this. Because I was the number one worrier. Oh my goodness, anxiety, panic attacks, worry, stress, strife, all of that. And I am not saying I'm, oh my goodness, over everything. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I have so much more peace than I ever did before in my life. Because I stop and say, you know what? That's yours, God. It's not mine. I can't control it. I can't fix it. I don't want to. That's the whole thing is I don't want to. He wants you just to say yes. And that's yes to whatever it is he wants to do, whatever it is he says. And here's the issue that comes in to that portion of the statement for us with God. It's, oh, do I trust him? I'm not sure I'm going to like what he's going to do. Okay, well then that's your issue. You need to work with him on the trust issue. And usually that means you have places in yourself where you need healing. And if you just ask him, trust me, it may be a process, but if you just ask him, he can show you what you need to be healed from and he can take you through that process. And, you know, I would be thrilled to pray with you about that or talk with you about that if there's anything that I can do to help in that respect. But what happens also is that sometimes in our little compartments, say we are happy with our growth in a certain area and we've kept that little compartment, we're good there, we're comfortable with whatever miserable little feelings we have, or we're comfortable with the amount of success we have, we're okay. Hey, you know, I don't want to bother with it. It's okay. I can live like this. Well, you're all like, you know, cramped up in this little space with no room to grow. Now, what happens if you put a plant in a pot and leave it there for so long that the roots have taken over the entire pot? What happens is it gets root rot. Either that or it stops growing. Depends on the plant. Same thing with us. It's the same thing. If you reach a point in your life where you have completely occupied the space that you're in, but you stay there because you're comfortable, you can either die a spiritual death because, you know, you refuse to grow, you refuse to learn, you refuse to listen, you refuse to let him be in control, and you just slowly kind of just wither. Or you just kind of stop growing. You don't die. You know, you might be one of those healthy plants. You kind of stay alive, but you can't get any bigger. Just stay in that pot. Because that's just, you know, you're comfortable. Well, if that's what you want to do, okay. You know, he's going to bless you where you are. He's going to love you no matter where you are. He doesn't get, wherever you are, he loves you. Let me get that straight. He loved you when he died for you on the cross. And he knew everything about you when he did that. And he died for everyone on the planet. Everyone on the planet. So everyone on the planet only needs to know that they're already saved. You're already saved. You just have to accept the fact that you're saved and know who did it. That's it. Simple as that. Okay, so that's kind of my little take on that. So what do you do to get out of that pot? What do you do when you realize it hurts? You're starting to kind of get cramped. You know, this isn't really comfortable anymore, and I'm kind of tired of the view, and God is trying to take you out of that pot. But you have to give him control. So you've got to take all the little walls down. You've got to let go of control. You've got to say, God, I'm going to let you do whatever you want, because what he wants to do is promote you to a new area. He wants to take you into new things. And this is a word that you need to hear. He is taking us into new things. There is such an incredible move of the Spirit that has started and that's coming, that we've been waiting for 20 plus years. I myself have been waiting for this move of the Spirit for over 20 years. And it is amazing, and it is going to explode. And I'm telling you that right now. And God is bringing so much blessing to the body. But I want to encourage you. If you're in a place that you have been hammered and you just don't understand what's going on, you just don't get it. You know, you've tried everything. You think you're doing everything right. You're listening. Look, lay down control. Just lay down control, because he's got it. He's got it. And sometimes growth hurts a little bit. Sometimes healing hurts a little bit, because, you know, sometimes when you have a wound and it needs to heal, you have to get the yuck. You know, I've done extensive wound care, and you have to clean it out. You have to debride it. You have to make sure that all of that bad tissue is gone. Okay, well, sometimes he does that in our lives too. He has to make sure that he gets the yuck out so that the good can grow. So don't despise what you're feeling. It's okay. Go ahead, and if he brings something to you, if you keep having something come up in your life, if you keep having a certain emotion, a certain problem, a certain whatever, then, you know, just stop and ask, what is it that I need healing in? What is it that is bringing this up? You know, because he wants to get it out of the way, or it wouldn't keep coming up. He wants to heal you, but you have to allow yourself to feel it. You have to allow him to debride it if that's what he wants to do. So, you know, it's like a child when they grow. Sometimes they get cramps in their legs. You know, they got growing pains. It hurts. Okay, but he wants to stretch you. He wants you to grow. He wants to bless you. And he is at that place right now. I just want to encourage you that the body of Christ is in such an amazing place right now. Right now, but we have to give him control. And above all, the weapon for this generation is love. Mark that. The weapon for this generation, love has always been the answer, but love is such a weapon right now in our current state. The hate and the just, you know, disunity and all of this going on. We have to have love. So we have to give God control, and we have to choose to love, and we have to let him grow us, because he's bringing us into a beautiful new season. I just want to encourage you again. Reach out to me if you need to. I have a blog at CarissasLifeNuggets.com. That's CharissasLifeNuggets, CarissasLifeNuggets.com. And I would be happy to help in any way I can, to pray with you, to talk with you, and just know that I love you, God loves you, and he's doing amazing things. He's doing fabulous things. Just be excited. Be excited. Find your purpose and live your best life. Thanks so much for listening, and be back soon.